Hi, good day. Welcome back to 340 Caribbean Culture. Today what we're going to do is be making a baked macaroni and cheese. And my baked macaroni has sometimes 5 different cheeses, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, sometimes it varies on my mood, and it varies on which macaroni and cheese I want to make. I already got my pan heating up. The first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead in with some butter, because we're gonna make a what is called a roux. A roux is basically flour and butter. Let that go to tip and start to melt, and then we're gonna go in and start adding the flour. Now you don't want your pan too hot, because you don't want to burn the butter, and it takes time to get this stuff done. So low and slow wins the race. My butter is almost completely melted. So now I'm going to go in with some flour. Now your measurements all depends on how much macaroni and cheese you're making. Now, I'm using whole milk. I'm not using any eggs. But if you're using sorry. I'm gonna let this cook down for a little bit. Lost my train of thought. Ay. Blame the medication, man. Blame the medication. All I'm doing is cooking down the flour. You're getting rid of the raw flour taste. And with this, I can actually go in with a little bit more butter. Like I was saying, if you're using like heavy whipping cream, then you wouldn't need as much of the roux, because it actually thickens up faster. Sorry y'all, I apologize. Sometimes I lose my train of thought, and it's just medication. I added a little more because the flour basically sucked up everything. You want to cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes. You're trying to get rid of the raw floury taste. You don't want that in your mac and cheese at all. You don't want it to burn. So you're going low and slow. You can adjust as you need, but you're trying to keep it as low as possible without burning. You're just trying to cook the raw taste out of it. Now sometimes I'll grate my own cheese. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Or just like, you know, my body won't allow it. So sometimes a little extra steps that I'll go and take for a customer, you know, I wouldn't so much do it for myself. Unless it's like special occasions or whatever. This is what it's turned out to look like. Just trying to cook out the floury taste. The longer you cook this, the better chance of not having a floury taste. Some people might put it on and then instantly start throwing the milk in. But no, you want to give it a couple of minutes. What I do, I go ahead and I add a little bit at a time. So it's still cooking. You want to keep stirring this until basically all the lumps are out of it. You just basically stirring it smooth. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit because the milk itself is still relatively cold. It's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Need to add some more. Like I said, the amount depends on how much cheese you're putting in. One. And two, how much mac and cheese you're making. That's slowly coming up. I'm gonna go in with some cream cheese. Now for a small pan, and normally we're going with a half a stick of cream cheese, okay? That's your first cheese. While you're stirring, it's slowly coming back up to temperature, because everything that you add is going to reduce the temperature. Alright, while I continue to come up, get my next cheese. We're going in with some Parmesan cheese. Okay. That much, okay? Just enough. My measurements and your measurements gonna be two different things. Because I like my macaroni and cheese to be cheesy, and I like it to have a depth of flavors. A depth of flavor is always nice, and that adds your first salt content. All right. We go down with some black pepper. Like wifey does say, season until your ancestors say it's enough. Going in with a little bit of complete seasoning. You're going in with some flavor rice. Now this is optional, okay? You can mix and match however you feel fit for you and your family. Next, you want to go in with some onion powder. You can start off with like a teaspoon or half of a teaspoon, and then adjust from there. And then I'm going in with some garlic powder. That was like a quarter teaspoon. Mix it all in. I'm gonna go in with a packet or a little less than a packet of Goya, and that helps give me the color that I want. Hey. Bear with me, y'all. I'm struggling a little bit. Today been rainy, and every bone in my body hurts. That's not bad. Need a little bit of salt. I hate that container. Hey. And then you can go ahead and mix it all up. Oh, that's 2 cheeses so far. Okay. I'm gonna go in with some mild cheddar. Yes, I use a lot of cheese. And honestly, that's not even as much cheese as I usually would use. When I tell people that my macaroni and cheese is rich, and the price that you get them, is like, they think you try to rip them off, but no, you're not. The price of cheese has gone up significantly. I'm gonna thin this out just a little bit. And I still have one more cheese to add, so that's why I don't want it too thick yet. Alright, no specific brand, but then you're going to go in with some of the Mexican 4 cheese. what I'm looking for. Wash this off with some bleach water. I'm gonna reduce the temperature. Use a little more onion powder. Y'all say, here you go again with this onion powder. Onion powder makes everything taste better. And you'll be surprised the flavor that it'll give you mac and cheese. Right? That's what you're looking for. Try not to go in with too much salt because you're adding salt to your pasta. But you want to elevate the taste. My cheese sauce flavors my pasta, not my pasta flavors my cheese sauce. A little bit of garlic powder. Honestly, you could take the rest of this. And what would actually kick it up a notch, you add a tad more Parmesan cheese. That's what's missing. That's much better. Much better. I'll be back with the pasta. Alright y'all, I got my mac and cheese just past al dente. Pasta ain't hard, just they give you the instructions on the box or bag, whatever you choose. You're just taking this, as you can see, cool for a little bit. What I'm doing is just stirring it in, and I want my pasta to actually absorb quite a bit of the cheese sauce. It might seem like a lot. I usually do a lot more than this, but a lot more pasta than this, but what I did, I wanted to sit there and absorb all the flavors. I didn't put a whole lot of salt content or salt in the pasta. And I already tell you salted like the sea. I don't do all that. Especially if I'm making mac and cheese. I'm gonna give this a couple of minutes just to sit here and soak up as much of the sauce as it can. And then I go ahead and spread the cheese on top. Give it about 5 minutes or so. All right, now 5 minutes has went by, and what I'm gonna do now is add the rest of the cheese. I let it absorb some of the sauce, the flavor, the pasta. That was the mild cheddar. And this one is the 4 cheese. I normally run my oven at 350 for about 15 minutes or so. The most 20. But it all depends on, you know, what the temperature is. Right now, I have some meat in the oven, so it's already running at 370. So I'm not gonna change that. This is a close-up of it before I put it into the oven. Now that's a beautiful pie. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Any more cheese, I'll be arrested. All right, guys, mac and cheese finally out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. A little later, I'm gonna take a slice of it when I'm giving my wife her food, and I can guarantee you, it's a hellified cheese pull, and it's nice and moist. Thank you guys for coming back for another video. I really appreciate you guys for continuing to come back. Also for, you know, subscribing, giving me a few likes, helping grow the channel. Normally a Caribbean, they either call it macaroni pie or they will call it regularly macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese. It's normally, growing up, I've tasted many. It's normally a little drier than the normal mac and cheese. It's a little more firm, but I tend to add a lot of sauces to mine, a lot of cheese sauce to mine. And I like my macaroni and cheese not to be dry or too firm. I tend to also use like ziti noodles, or I would use penne noodles versus the conventional elbow noodles that I grew up with everybody making their mac and cheese with. But I feel personally, I prefer either the ziti noodles um, or the penne noodles. Majority of the time, I use the penne noodles. But you can use any kind of noodles you want, your choice, however you want your mac and cheese to look like or taste like, your choice. You know, there's no, there's nothing written in stone that you have to use elbow noodles because most of the time I don't. I can tell you, to be honest, I may have used all my years of cooking, well, since I left home, all my years of cooking, I have never used elbow noodles, elbow macaroni and cheese. If you see me use elbow mac and cheese, that is because it came in the package with regular macaroni and cheese. I do not use the elbow, and it's not against it. It's just my preference. Um, do you, you know? But you'll normally find most Caribbean people using the elbow noodles. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my choice of noodles. Okay? Always tailor your food to you. Um, Somebody else's recipe, you can always make it your own. Add your own little tweaks to it. Um, there are several different versions of mac and cheese that I do. Um, I haven't done the white Gouda. Um, like I said, there's several different macaroni and cheese that I do. It depends on what my customer wanted at the time, you know. Continue to stick and stay. Really appreciate you guys. I really do. Until next time, love you.